So do you guys get overwhelmed with your life or the contents of your life? That's this week's topic, and this video is aptly late because, yeah, my life is often overwhelmed. Now, me personally, life is overfull all the time for the last few years due to work-related things. It's always too much on my plate. A lot of my work is around the stuff I love doing, so you could sort of say, well, that's okay, but it's work anyway, and it means I'm often what you'd call a busy fool work-wise. I'm busy with my businesses, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm out busy earning money for the business or my wages, if that makes sense. So a busy fool, how's work? Yeah, I'm rammed busy, but I'm not actually out earning all the time, if that makes sense. My life's been overfull for several years, and it's to the point now where I can't do the things I enjoy. So I'm lucky that I don't not like my work. A lot of people don't like their work. I like my job. It's kind of around nature and falconry and animals and that kind of thing, conservation. So it's kind of what I'm about. But it's still work. I still have to set out. Stuff I've inherently loved doing. Fishing. Since I was a tiny little kid, I don't get time to go fishing. I took my granddaughter, or we took our granddaughter a week or two ago, just a simple cane, some line and light tackle, and caught a few little tiddlers and a few ounce sort of fish. That's the nearest I've been to fishing for quite a long time, and it was actually quite enjoyable. But it was a couple of hours snatched, and that's the impact on my daily overwhelm, my sort of hold on, someone's just jaywalking in front of me here. On my daily overwhelm, just overly busy, is that it impacts on I don't get to do the stuff I'm really passionate about properly. Falconry, it's not something you dabble with. I've dabbled with my actual personal falconry for the last 3 or 4 years because life's too busy, and most of that is work related. But that's not really what it's about. What it's about is if you're already got a background hum of your life's really full, you kind of every hour and every minute of the day is full anyway, it doesn't take much tipping to have that straw that broke the camel's back effect where you are actually overwhelmed. You actually becomes really stressful just working out how you're going to get certain things done. Are you going to get them done? And it just that then becomes a massive stress, whether it's something enjoyable, maybe someone in your family wants to go on holiday and you've got to somehow find that, or a work related thing and so on. But when you get to the point you feel like you are spinning plates on sticks and none of those plates are allowed to fall and smash, but you now feel it doesn't matter how fast you run between the spinning plates to keep them spinning, you're at crisis point and you're terrified you're not going to get to the next plate in time before it stops spinning and falls. When you're that overwhelmed, it is stressful. So are you like that? Do you get to that point? And then what do you do about it, or how do we cope or get out of it? So the only way to get out of it is to reduce it down. So it's to complete some of those tasks, maybe especially you've got a big thing hanging over you, you can't see through that, and you've got to get that done. I wake up in the night and I just won't be able to go back to sleep because it creeps in. Christ, I've got to get this done. How am I going to do this? I think there's a few things you can do, and there's one big thing you mustn't do. So I'll give you the mustn't do first. The mustn't do, despite your alarm going off and every part of your being just wanting to pull those covers over, stay in bed, phoning sick, not face the world, literally not face the world, and not face this overwhelming backlog of stuff you've now got going on. As much as it's so easy to just not do it, that is really the worst thing you can do. A lot of people that are self-employed, they set up little businesses and they can't even do the first 3 critical years because they get to the point where they start shirking work, letting down customers. They just can't face it. You have to, it doesn't matter if you feel like that. You have to carry on. You have to be reliable. You have to face the world, and you have to get the job done, or start working through that endless list of tasks. So, as an example, a friend of mine, he serves for the courts, so he's not a bailiff. He doesn't go and take stuff away. He knocks on your door when you've ignored all your red letters. Someone's taken you to court, they've sent you red letters, and you have ignored them all and let them pile up. You owe money, you can't pay a bill, something's happened in your life, whatever, you've ignored it because you can't even face opening those letters. That is not facing it. That is the thing not to do. So that's his job. He goes around, he knocks on your door. Hi, are you John Smith? Yes, I am. You're served. And he hands you a letter, and that way the courts are able to say, or he's able to say to the courts, or the courts are able to say to you, yes, we know you got that letter. The dog didn't chew it, you did not get it, you weren't at it, you got the letter. If you don't turn up in court, because now you've been summoned, and we know you've got the letter. So he serves you as a very, very last resort. And some people get really angry with him. It's not his fault, it's their fault for getting that far, not facing things. Other people get really upset, and often it's a genuine thing. People have broke up, life just took a turn, and they haven't been able to face this overwhelmed life they're now living. They'll often end up having a cup of tea with them and saying, look, you should never have got to this point. Always open your letters, always ring the people chasing you, let's say, for money, tell them you haven't got any, and make a bargain with them. You know, all right, I'll pay you £5 a month. They just need something back. If you just quiet and don't answer because you're not facing things, well, people are going to get angry and take you to court, aren't they, at the end of the day? You owe them, or you know, you've wronged them as far as they see it. Just always face it. Doesn't mean you've got to, there's always a way out. If you haven't got money to pay someone, they can't get the money out of you. But if you show willing, you face your problems, you stand up to get through that overwhelming part of your life. So he'll often give them advice, and he always says to me, you know, the worst thing people can do is just not open letters and not face the world. So always bear that in mind. Other things that you can do, I wake up in the night, and if I can't get back to sleep, I think, right, I'll go downstairs, so I don't keep my wife awake, tossing and turning, huffing and puffing, and make a list. Even if you have to have a pad and a pen, don't use your phone for this. A pad and a pen down under your bed that you can just get out if you have these sessions. Jot these things down in your head to get them out your head so you can go back to sleep, because the reality is there's nothing you can do about your worries in the middle of the night anyway, and most of your worries don't come true, do they? It's just the human nature. If you have a notepad on your phone, you turn your phone on, I'll just write these notes down on my phone. No, you don't. Then you start going on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or so on, emails. You're never going to go to sleep then. You just fired your brain back up fully. So always make notes. And then in the morning, when your mind's clear, the best way to face your overwhelmed life, the point where you are utterly at your wit's end, the plates just, you just can't get to the next plate and keep it spinning. Work it down, prioritise it. I'm not talking your daily life where you're just overly busy. I'm talking when you're at this point of break. Prioritise it. Yes, you're worrying about that thing you've got to do, the job, or the thing you're sorting out in 3 weeks, but that's 3 weeks away. Prioritise it. Is it best to tick off a few of the little tasks that are only literally, if you actually face them, going to take you half an hour each? Emails or horrible phone call you've got to make to the bank or something. Is it best to maybe just tick those off and leave more time for the big chunky ones you've got to deal with? Or maybe the way your brain works, deal with the couple of real biggies, get them sorted and done, invest a lot of time and energy, just break them, and then you might feel easier to mop up the small tasks as you go along. But prioritise it time-wise. If you are absolutely rammed, deal with today's tasks, plan out what you've got to do by the end of this week, plan what tasks and make notes and bullet points, the jobs for the up and coming couple or 3 weeks. You know, as an example, my wife said, we've got to sort the hire car out. It's only 2 or 3 weeks away, you know. recent holiday. When are you going to sort a holiday, Karen? Yeah, but you're doing that. I know, but I need your input, Dave. I know, but I've got this to sort out for this weekend. You're talking about something 2 weekends ago. I can't even think about what you're talking about. Get this weekend out of the way. You'll have my attention and we'll sort that out. Sometimes, as rude as it sounds, you just got to think, that thing's 2 weeks away. If I put my attention onto this week's things that have to be done, push through, push them to the back of your mind, take the overwhelming pressure off, but bullet point, list it, organise it. Don't procrastinate. This isn't a day of, well, if I feel like I've made a list today, I'll be all right. You have not got time to procrastinate. That's why maybe you are so overwhelmed today. Just make lists, bullet point, organise and crack on. Like I say, deal with the imminent big tasks, the horrible things. We all have those horrible phone calls. I don't even like sorting out my van insurance. Hate it. I love it more now because you can go online and do it or not speak to people, but I hate that kind of phone call where you're sorting out your insurance or sorting out because you need to have an overdraft, but you've got to deal with them. So recently, like I say, it's just manic at the moment. I've got an event I'm organising in a few days, but recently I really was feeling it. It was, things were getting tough. You know when you feel like your bottom lip's going to shake because you're so stressed out and you just want to cry. Certainly to that point, and the only way I'm good at getting through these things is you do have to face them and organise them. I like to make plans ahead. I like to have life tasks, things completed in good time, way before I need to. I absolutely irritates the hell out of me. Friends of mine that will literally leave something till the day before that's really important that they could have organised a month ago. But sometimes you get to that point. So yeah, just the day before's fine if you're going to get it done the day before. And if that means you can put it off and get other things done, other tasks done, so be it. You know, sometimes you got to agree with or realise yourself that you can't always be your best when you are so over busy and then you hit an overwhelming patch. You can't be your most organised, as you maybe like to be if you're like me. You can't be, you just got to get these things done by the schedule and that's going to be good enough. But another thing that's really important, if you're a bit of a perfectionist, I'm someone who likes to do things myself because I know I'll get them done how I want them. But so not necessarily delegate, but if people are offering to help you and you know they won't do the thing to your standard, but they'll do it good enough, it will be good enough, accept the help. Accept the help. Drop your standards. Don't stress about it. If it's for work and your customers will be happy with the thing, the product, the service, if someone helps you do it and they'll be happy, that's good enough. If your customers aren't moaning, it is good enough. Yes, you prefer to do the 120% and absolute perfection, but at this point in time, it's good enough. And the same for you. If you think, oh, I normally do this better, but I haven't got time to do it. If you've got time to do it good enough, better to get it done. Years and years ago, when I first bought a place for my own, I do all my own decorating. Now I don't do wallpaper anymore. I can't stand it, but I'm pretty good at painting. I used to do it for a living for a while. Pretty good at painting that side of decorating in a house. And my friend would say, oh, you know, see, you painted your lounge, but that bit's not perfect, is it? No, it's not, but you've lived in your house 8 years and your lounge hasn't been painted and it looks shit. Yeah, because I'll do it when I've got time to do it perfect. Well, that's great. Or is it maybe best to have it 95% perfect, perfectly perfect for anyone that ever sets foot in your house? Maybe not to your mega standard, because you're a perfectionist, but maybe it's better to get the job done and ticked off. In that instance, your wife's happy, you're happy, You're a perfectionist, but you come home, the job's done. So that's my advice. Really, it really is. Take help if it's offered, even if it won't be to your standard, but it'll be good enough. Will you save time and complete one of these jobs that's stacked up against you? Will you have time to do it if you do it yourself and you accept it's 95% perfect, but it's not your absolute best work? If it makes no difference to anyone or anything except you, get it done. Get a list in order, priority list, time-wise, and a priority list size-wise, whichever suits you, so you can visualize your overwhelming problems. Often it helps to see them written down, and then instead of them floating around in your head back to back, constantly in a circle, making you feel so overwhelmed and so almost apathetic, like it's almost no point trying anymore, I'm never going to get this done. Sometimes if you write it down and bullet point it, organise it on paper, you can actually see a clear way forward. And again, on that note, if you're someone that likes to be like me, organise and get things done well in advance, if that bullet pointed list leaves stuff close to the wire, but it means you will complete the task on time, so be it. Get it down on paper, then don't procrastinate anymore. Crack on, work through the list in the order you've selected, and if it means you're going to get all those things done on time, they're done. And also, of course, you have to leave space at the bottom of that sheet, or a sheet ready to rewrite it, because when you're a busy person, overly busy, and you hit an overwhelming patch, you know as well as I do, life doesn't stand still on pause and let you work your way through your list, clear your log to zero. More things are coming up the bottom of that sheet almost as fast as you can tick them off. That's why it's so important to face it, not pull the duvet over your face, not leave the letters piling up. The most important thing is to face it, organise, crack on. It is so important, because although stuff will be moving onto your sheet of lists of jobs to do, the faster you crack on and deal with life, the more sparser that list will become. And honestly, as I've proved to myself recently, when I really, really was overwhelmed with life, the faster you'll get to a point where, once again, you've got the luxury of just being over busy, stacked out to the max. But the crucial thing is not overwhelmed with it all, really getting to the point you're feeling unable to cope. So that's my best advice. It's what works for me 100%. Put your feet on the ground, lean into the wind, and crack on. Honestly, things will always clear if you constantly persevere. It's when you hide away from the world that your life will become a massive pickle, because if you're not careful, being completely overwhelmed with life will turn into fatigue, burnout, depression, and once you get down that route, it becomes very, very hard to face the day and sort your own life out. And at the end of the day, we need to be strong-minded, and we need to be really, as best we can, able to sort our own lives out. That doesn't mean you don't take, Jesus Christ, the road closed ahead now, it's overwhelming. Taking help that's offered, freely given, is not a weakness, because at some point, if you're a good person, you'll be doing, despite your overbusy life, you'll be doing the same for others. I've got friends that help me so much. They've helped me so much throughout my life. Always there at the end of a phone to give you advice or pop over and give you physical help. And a lot of those friends and acquaintances, I might take them out for a meal, but I don't almost never do anything to help them. They're never in a position where they need my help. But I don't worry about that, because they know I'm a good person. They know I would help them, and they freely give their help. And the reason I don't mind it feeling a bit one way is because, let's just see if this road's open, is because I do the same for other people. I pass it forward, and I have friends that I help that I never need help or require or ask of them of help. If you're in a nice web of friends, of good people, no good person or friend will do things for you because they want it reciprocated at some point, holding you to ransom, holding you in debt of the kind gesture. No good friend will ever do that. Equally, no good friend expects to be asked all the time to help you. And there's never a truer saying. Most people, good people, don't mind helping you in a crisis as long as you're prepared to help yourself. And that's key. People helping you so you can help yourself, not burying your head in the sand and expecting people to always do it all for you. That's the key thing. I found my way to work, navigated that. I hope you can navigate your way through a really tough time and feeling overwhelmed. Take some of the advice, or just put stuff that you know works for you into practice. And I'll catch you very, very soon. Hopefully back on the Wednesday slot next week. By the way, I'll leave you with, if you've been following the channel at all, if you're one of the very select few in this club, the alcohol and lack of the not drinking alcohol is very, very tough, but I'm still at it. I'll report a bit more on that next week. If you're someone that drinks regular and you've realised it's actually way more than a habit, it is an addiction, join me on my alcohol journey and I'll talk you through, side effects, tough decisions, and where it gets hard, but it is getting easier. Catch you later.